Gotham Knights, by many accounts, seems to be dead. Virtually no support from the developer in over a month and a half. There are so many issues, bugs, glitches, problems with this game, and we have not heard a single word. No update has been given, and no problems have been addressed. I will have to say I still do enjoy playing the game, but the fact that the development team and the support for this game has basically come to zero, it makes it really hard to continue playing. Over the past couple days, I've read a lot of articles covering basically the past 6 or 7 years, from the initial start of basically the concept of this game all the way up until this point. And I honestly have to ask myself, from everything that I've seen and read, was Gotham Knights doomed from the start? Now, like I said, I still do enjoy playing this game, and I know a lot of people also enjoy playing this game, but there's also a lot of people that have a lot of problems with the game, and there's a lot of things that make the game unplayable for a lot of people. In this video, we're pretty much just gonna go over a lot of information, and so y'all are gonna have to let me know in the comments, what do you think about everything that we have talked about in today's video? All of these articles that we're going to talk about today are from the online source Game Rant. Now, I can't necessarily verify everything in here. Of course, this is just information that I take from these articles. So we're going to start back all the way in 2016. The Suicide Squad movie did really well, and there were obviously plans on making a new Suicide Squad game. This was all the way back in 2016. During this time as well, one of my favorite games of all time also came out, Injustice 2. Then we have Batman Arkham as well. And so there were obviously a lot of things going right. But unfortunately, Kotaku, which is another like online source or whatever, that Suicide Squad game that was in development at WB Montreal has been canceled. So the original Suicide Squad, which we know now is obviously being made by Rocksteady, but the original Suicide Squad game was supposed to be made by WB Montreal, who ended up making Gotham Knights. Now, during this time, executives chose to shelve the title following a long period of turbulence. Now, during this time in 2016, I think it was like the production developer and the head of the studio, two major employees at WB Montreal, took off and left and quit and went other places, pursued other options. And so during that time, during that turbulence, which had reportedly been in development for 2 years and offered co-op gameplay, we're talking about the Suicide Squad, failed to impress Warner Brothers management during a green light meeting. So WB Montreal has been working on a Suicide Squad game for the previous couple years, supposed to be co-op. They've had some problems, couple people quit, and then they took it to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers said no. Kind of a shot in the heart, right? I mean, all that time you put in and you take it to Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers telling you, yo, this game is just not good enough for us. So Warner Brothers Montreal, WB Montreal, is now said to be working on a new Batman game that stars Damian Wayne. Damian is the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul, and has been a member of the League of Assassins. In DC's 2016 comics relaunch, DC Rebirth, Damian becomes a leader of the Teen Titans, aiming to take down his grandfather and Batman enemy, Ra's al Ghul. So kind of like, it seems like this is the start of Gotham Knights, 2016. WB Montreal is told that the Suicide Squad game is not good enough for them, so then they begin to working on a new Batman game. So now we're going to fast forward a year and a half to May of 2018. We still don't know what the new WB Montreal game is, but we see that WB Game Montreal is hiring for a co-op Batman game. A recent job listing points to WB Games Montreal potentially hiring for a new co-op Batman game that includes elements supporting the concept of games as a service. Now, I think a lot of people suspected from the very beginning that this game being live service was initially the plan. Now, what ended up nixing that idea or canceling that idea, I really don't know. Was it the success of the Avengers? We obviously see now, especially from the Suicide Squad leak that came out, live service is in the cards for these games, right? Why is it that Gotham Knights didn't do it? I don't know. I personally wanted it to be that just because that way I would know that the company would support it. They don't. It's not live service, so they don't support the game. They don't update the game. We don't get fresh content or anything. So according to the post, WB Montreal is seeking an exceptional, talented user research who is ready for the challenge of producing a AAA title on the next generation platforms. Applicants must have a passion for video games and knowledge of the games as a service. It is also said at this point, in May of 2018, it from the information that they've been able to gather, seems to be an open world co-op Batman game. And after the cancellation of the Suicide Squad project, after Borderlands and the nixing of a Damian Wayne style release in the vein of Arkham Origins. So initially it looked like it was going to be a Damian Wayne Batman game. And then by the time that May of 2018 comes around, it looks like that it was more towards a live service with no Damian Wayne in it. Then we're going to jump a little bit further in the year, October of 2018, 2 DC Universe games in development at WB Montreal. A senior game designer for WB Montreal reveals that the Canadian video game developer could be working on 2 different titles that are set in the DC universe. I think a lot of people have been waiting for Justice League. I think a lot of people have been waiting for Superman. Obviously, the Suicide Squad one is just released. What is the other game? We know that Gotham Knights was one of them. What is the other game? We're going to talk about this a little bit later on, because it does kind of all, go back into a circle. But at this point, a senior game designer says that there are 2 games currently in the works. No announcements have been made, by the way. No Gotham Knights, announcement has been made, and no teases on the other game either. So then finally in August of 2020 at DC Fandom, the new Batman game Gotham Knights is revealed, and WB Montreal has revealed the new Batman game Gotham Knights, but it will be a lot different than other games in the series. No doubt. So of course, when this released, everybody said that, well, this game is not like Arkham, and WB Montreal said that it's not like the Arkham series, but yet the trailer seems to pick up exactly where Arkham Knight left off. Bruce Wayne apparently is dead, having to send a message to the rest of the Bat family. Red Hood, Batman, Robin, and Nightwing. We know obviously that's how it starts. Batman is dead. They gotta avenge him and deal with the League of Shadows and the Court of Owls and all the other enemies in Gotham, and do it all alone. So now at what point exactly did they, take off the table of it being a live service? When did they actually take off the table that this was just going to be a one and done? And then of course, almost 2 years later, Gotham Knights releases, and we know that the game is not live service, and we know the game is obviously not being updated. It is a one and done. And the finished product, even though it is not finished yet, and probably will never be complete with all the bugs, glitches, problems with performance, has had, I don't know, a total of 6 years of production time, and on new gen consoles or next gen consoles, 30 frames per second, and no support throughout the game. Now, there's obviously a lot of speculations on why could this be, could they just not figure it out? Was there not enough time? Was WB pushing them to get a product out because it was already delayed? It was supposed to be released in 2001. It wasn't released at the end of the year 2022. And so I said 2001, 2021, and then 2022 is when it finally released. It's not live service. They didn't keep up with it. And so a lot of questions for sure. But maybe one of the possibilities is that Gotham Knights developer WB Games Montreal has an unannounced project in the works. And I obviously am only speculating here, but maybe from the very beginning, when we first heard years ago that they were working on two actual projects, maybe this other one is like a Justice League or a Superman, and this Gotham Knights game just never received the attention that it deserved and should have gotten in order to complete it. Or maybe just WB just had enough of them, just like they did with the Suicide Squad, and said, okay, well, you know what? It's not good enough what you presented us, and so we're just cutting the ties now and just taking a loss, taking an L on this one, and we'll move on to the next project, which has been, I guess, in the works for some time. And in this post, it shows a LinkedIn profile for WB Montreal Games, or Games Montreal, and started official production. It says that senior producer on Gotham Knights at WB Games Montreal from January of 2017 to November of 2022, which is about the time they quit giving updates, right? As soon as Heroic Assault dropped, that was pretty much the end of it. We got one update after Heroic Assault, but haven't received anything since then. Even the extra items or the exclusive items from the comics that we get aren't even being updated. They're not even updated to the current level 60 max. It's just level 40 stuff. They haven't even bothered changing any of that stuff either. So it does look like from December of 2022, unannounced project. Now, is this a new project, or is it the project that they were supposedly working on when they were working on two projects at the same time years ago? But it could explain a lot of reasons why the entire company just gave up on Gotham Knights. So to me, it is quite possible that this game was just doomed from the jump. And obviously it all started 2016. Two senior level employees leave the company. WB Montreal, who was supposed to make Suicide Squad, gets turned down by WB and says, well, no, this isn't good enough for us. You can't make this game. Make something else. They started on a Damian Wayne Batman game. The Damian Wayne got nixed. The live service got canceled as well. They said that they were working on two games simultaneously, so maybe a lot of those efforts were being put into this other game at the same time, which is why, we didn't get live service, which is why we didn't get more than 30 frames per second, which is why we're not getting updates, and this is just a one and done game now. And then it turns out that finally come to this point, it could be possible that they already have been and are now working on a new DC game, possibly Justice League, possibly Superman. Who really knows? But I do enjoy the game. I really like it, but I am so disappointed that it didn't turn out to be what I hoped and thought that it could be. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about all this stuff. I'll see y'all next time. We're out. Peace.